In the last episode, we remade RNAO, and it came out pretty good, but I had you guys vote in the community tab, and you guys voted for me to remake Obama Rebirth by DANZMEN. I don't know why this was the level you guys picked, but it is, so we're gonna roll with it. Plus, it's a DANZMEN level, it's pretty cool. I want to start with some spider gameplay. We'll put a jump pad there, make sure it's auto. I don't know why, but I decided to go completely silent while making this gameplay, so I'll just kind of recap what I did in post. Basically, I tried to keep the gameplay really similar to Obama Rebirth, where it has that kind of click sync feel, but it's not too difficult. It's a lot of just going back and forth between blocks and the spider part. Alright, that's the spider part done. I probably did the whole thing in post commentary because I didn't talk over the whole thing. So, hi editor Boomsocks, I hope you're having fun with this. But we're gonna move on, and we're gonna start the ship part, and I'm actually gonna talk this time so you don't have to deal with, dead editor Boomsocks. We'll put our ship portal down, and we'll get the gravity lines with this preview button here. It'll give us these blue lines, and we could work within the bounds of them. We'll take a 3x speed portal, scale it down, and then I'm gonna add extra copies just because I like to have it as a buffer. Alright, I have a rough outline for how I want the ship to look. I'm gonna go about starting the structuring and whatnot for this. So first of all, this entire part is gonna have ground spikes. I'm just gonna line them up here, and for now, I'm gonna make them white just so I could see them a little better. Alright, now that we got our ground spikes in spot, I want to build up the tops of a couple blocks. We're not going to fill them out because I want to do something interesting for the structuring, but it'll let us know where our spikes are going to go, and we can build everything off of that. We'll throw in some saws too for the parts where it gets a little more swingy. Throw another structure here, and one here. Maybe get a tiny little saw blade there to fill space. And for this last part, I want it to be kind of tight, so I'm going to do something a little like this. Let's see how that plays. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to add one last structure here and then add a couple saw blades in this part, and then we'll call it. And there we go. That's this part's gameplay pretty much done. I'm going to give it a test run so you guys can get a look, and then we're going to hop into deco for a little bit. I'm pretty happy with this gameplay. I think it's pretty good. Now, knowing that we're working off a DANZMEN level, there's one thing I want to do right off the bat. Go here, look at our two newest colors, 9 and 10. 9 we're going to leave white, 10 we're going to turn black. We're going to set up a pulse trigger up here, channel 9, fade in, 0.1, fade out, 0.1, and make this black. Now we'll take these two, copy them up here, put that to 10, and make this one go white. And now if we take two blocks, give this one color 9, give this one color 10, we get this effect. And that's a little fast. So first we'll come up here, we'll change our colors up a bit. Our object color could go to more of a grayish. I think that'll look better. We'll change the background to more of a reddish, somewhere probably like here, I'd say. For the ground, we'll do the same thing but a little bit darker. And now I want to get some pulses set up. And if we listen closely in the song, you got the big hits coming from the drum, but then you got this like dun 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 underneath, and I want to use that to build our pulses off of. Alright, I got some pulse lines set up. Now we'll just go ahead and add our pulse triggers. I ended up redoing about half these pulse triggers later on in the video, but the way I set them up here was to be slightly brighter than the background. That way, every time they hit, it was kind of impactful and matched some of the deco on the blocks flashing. Alright, that's our background pulses set up. And now we'll take a copy of all these pulses, copy them, make another copy, put it halfway through, and now take all of these new ones. We'll change this to our next free channel, which was group color 9. Go color, set it to black, and set this to 0.1. And now if we come up here, put an object with color 9, see how that looks. That's a little too fast. Now it's kind of got this like flickering effect. I want to use that in the block design somehow. Before we do the rest of the colors, I want to get our block design situated, and to do that, we're going to have to structure this. So let me do that really quick. We'll go on layer 1, grab these guys, and just kind of put them down wherever we need them. And now for these corners, we could just throw these in, and then finish the structures. Okay, so I messed with the pulses a little. I like this a little more than having it go all flashy. Now that we have that set, I think it's going to be pretty easy to get a block design together. Oh, why is all this on that layer? Oh, that's not supposed to be like that. Whoopsies. So we delete these, go layer 2, grab this fella, put him all around, make these color 9, that'll be our flashing one, and I'll make these color 11, and we'll save for later, that'll be something else. Under that, we'll add these with background blending. as well as a layer of glow on each block, underneath it, of course. There we go. I turned down the opacity on the inner ones here. And now we'll take these and these, give them group 35, and we'll copy the background ones, make a second little loop. This will be group 35, keep the same brightness, and we'll see how that looks. There we go, that's our pulsing effect. That's pretty good. Now there's also something a little weird about the way the blocks are structured in the original. I think it's something like something kind of like that. Alright, that's a pretty good base. Now, I'm going to take this design, I'm going to put it all over these other blocks real quick, and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, that should be our base blocks pretty much all set and squared away, aside from this layering error. And now, all we need to do are these blocks, which are going to be really simple. Now, for how simple these blocks are, I'm actually really happy with how they turned out. Basically, it was just a bunch of blocks with glow on the top that was the same color as the block, layered on top of each other, and set in an order to where it looks like a gradient. After that, it was just setting up the outlines, which was pretty simple. We put the interior ones on color 9, which was that flashing black, and we put the outside outline on just the object color. Alright, that's our first block done. Now, it shouldn't take us too long to get this template on every other block here, so I'm just going to do that really quick. And that's our blocks pretty much done. I didn't add these little wings on the rest of them, but when I add moving groups to all of them, I'm gonna put them on there. It's just gonna look a little nicer. There's one last aspect about the block design I'm worried about, and that's gonna be these slopes. But in the original level, DANZMEN uses these metallic slopes on the same pulsing as these. So we're gonna see how that looks. Hey, that looks pretty good. Once we get some stuff in there, it's really gonna start to fill out. The last thing we need to worry about are these little interiors here. And to fix that, we're going to go here on layer 3. We're going to grab these 2.0 bricks. And we'll go on layer 4. We'll add some glow. And then lastly, we'll go on layer 5. Go into the animated tab and grab lava blocks. And there we go. That's our lava on the inside. Now we could take all of this and put it all in these. And that is the inside of all the blocks done. Now, before we move on to anything else, I just want to clean up our block designs a little and add a little something here because these are still a little empty. For starters, I want to copy what we did in the RNAO part, so I'm going to take this block and unlink it, steal this little triangle guy, and throw him down there. Maybe scale him up a little. There we go. So we'll take this and copy this everywhere. Something else I want to add is we'll go on layer 7, grab one of these spinny guys, scale it down, make it color 9, and then I want to add this and have these coming down. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Something else I want to do is I want to copy the values of this, grab these little triangles and make a little formation, scale them down, move that over a quarter block, same with that, and then scale this one up to 0.65. Is that too big? This might be a little too big. I spaced them out a little more. Now that looks a little better. Now we're going to come back to layer 7, grab these, put it there and there, make it object color and background blending. We'll add these, scale this down, put it B2. Also make this background blending, but I want to turn up the brightness on this and change the hue just by 10. And that looks cool. Lastly, we'll add some glow. We'll go color 2, make sure it's B3. Let's just scale it down. There we go, that looks better. Now we'll just take this template and we're gonna put it on all these other blocks here. So if you don't mind me, Kendrick Lamar just dropped a new album. I'm gonna go listen to it while I do that.
Baby rockin' it, quid pro quo, what you want, cause I'm watching it. Broke on the floor, let me know if you clocking it. Brody won't go, but I know that he popping it. It was wolf tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down, young, these some.
Alright, that's looking pretty good so far. Now they're not completely done, there's still a few other things I want to add. But for the time being, I want to take our attention back to our colors. It stays this red for the entire part, and I want to change that a little and have it be a little more flashy, get a little more color in there. And since our background pulses use the brightness rather than the actual color, we'll be able to come here, take a color trigger, make it background color, and then we'll copy this and change it, let's say, to a blue, and see how that looks. And these are the new background pulses I was talking about. Basically what I did is I just changed the hue of the background. Rather than being a red, it would be a blue or a green or a purple, and then the pulse would just be a brighter version of that. Lastly, I want to come back to our block design and look at these, where it uses color 11. Color 11 is doing absolutely nothing right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a simple little color loop, color 11, fade times 0. We'll have it go red and green. We'll keep it really simple. Just create loop and see how that looks. It seems a little bright, so I'm going to turn it down just a little. I like that. That's a lot more subtle. And we should get a quick saw design going. We'll go layer 5. It's our lava layer, which is good. We're going to copy the lava here and keep this for later. For now, we'll take one of these, do both color 9, so it gets that black pulse, and then we'll get the lava, just slide it in. We'll use the warp trigger, change it up a little. Now lastly, we'll add some glow. There we go. It's nice and simple, but that'll work. We'll link this together. We'll get a gameplay line going so we know where not to hit. Take this and just copy paste him around. I'll make another version that is scaled down. Now this bottom spot I want to leave open. I have a little deco idea I want to put there. And in the ship part, we already have saws placed out, so we just gotta put these over them. Alright, that's our saws all put in place. And of course, with saws, we're gonna need arrows. Now for arrows, we're going to need 2 different designs. We're going to need one for the ship and one for the spider. So we'll start with the spider one. We're going to take this little arrow, make 3 copies, scale them all down to 0.5, and then scale this middle one up to 0.65. Give this middle one color 9 so it has that little black pulse. We'll take this circle, background blending 3. Actually, no, we'll give it background blending 8, where it's got that half opacity. And then we'll take this spinny guy, that's too big. We'll take this spinny guy, scale him down. We'll also get a second one, scale this one down too, to put this B3. But we will give this our half opacity group, just so it's toned down a little. There we go, let's get another gameplay line going, and then we'll throw those arrows in place. Alright, that's all the spider arrows in place. Now let's get together a ship one. Now there's a lot more space to work with here, so I want to make something a little bit bigger. We'll start with the same base, and we'll set this to our half opacity one as well. Actually no, this one we'll leave on full brightness. We'll go into the slope tab, take 2 of these, give them color 9, and then take a second set, scale it down, and we'll throw this on here. We'll take 2 of these rotating guys, and before I do that, I'm gonna give them all their stuff now because I hate working with these. Take these, throw them on there, and then we'll take this, throw it there, scale it down just a little, give it color 2. And there we go, simple little arrow design. We'll link this together, and then copy paste this in the ship. I'm also just now realizing these are on layer 0, so let me change that. And while we still have this gameplay line here, we're gonna go back into this tab, grab these circles, scale them up, make sure they're B3, give them a new group, and give them background blending. And now we'll take these and just kind of free move them around following the gameplay line. And there we go. Now we'll come back to the start of the part, and using our group 39, we'll take an area fade. So we have this set so it goes from 100 opacity to 0 over the course of 100 blocks. And we have our center group as our player. Let's see how that looks. They should be disappearing and appearing in front of each other. Yeah, like that. That's pretty cool. Okay, I added a move area trigger to them, and they actually look really good. Lastly, we gotta spruce up our ground deco a little, because it's just these ground spikes right now. And we also have this thing that we gotta worry about. For starters, to fix this, we'll come on the spike layer, move it up there, and then take all of this, go here, next free, group 40, copy the values of this, go back on this layer, and take these blocks, and just paste state, paste color, run them underneath, so when we move this, it's nice and smooth. Now we'll come here, we'll go group 40, go down 10, and we'll see how that looks. Yes, that looks so good. Now we could come back to our spike layer. We'll go up to layer 8 because that's our next free one. Give it glow, background blending of course, and it's B2, which is good. And we just take this and put it all over. We'll be sure to give this group 40 so it moves with the spikes. And we'll take a second set, get rid of group 40, and put it up here. And now I want to go back to this layer. We'll go layer 10 actually. And we're going to take these, we're going to have 3 sets of them. We'll have one set just background blending, one set 30 hue, and another set minus 45 hue. And then I just want to give each of these their own glow piece to go with them. And we'll come down here and just kind of put these wherever. Alright, that's some of our ground deco in. Now I want to add a few other things, a couple rotating things. So we'll come back to this layer, go in this tab, grab stuff like this, paste state, paste color. Ooh, that looks good! I think movements are really going to bring this part together. There's more we could do with our ground spikes though. How about these? Maybe we'll take these, put some of them around. Ooh, I like the way that looks. Now we still need 2 last things before we officially move on to movements. And that's our orbs and our spikes. Orbs I think we could do pretty quick. We'll stick what we've been doing, take a circle, scale it up, give it background blending, take this, scale it down, make this color 9, B3, also background blending. Lastly, we'll take one of these, put a B4 so it's behind all that, and give it color 1. Okay, I ended up switching it out with color 9. I think it looks a little better. I'm gonna get rid of this swirly thing and see how that looks. There we go, I think that looks pretty good. I do want to take another one of these spinny guys if I can get it. Hold on, I grabbed it. There we go. Now that we have our orb deco, we can take this, link it together, and just copy paste it. And lastly, like I said, all we need is spikes. So I'll come up here, make a little spike templates, and boom, that's our Danzman spike done. And there we go, that's all of our spikes put in place. Since all we have left is movements, I'm going to go ahead and give all of these groups and then have them move. Luckily for you guys, this really cool thing called a time lapse exists, so you get to see me finish this super quick. Now that we have all our movements settled, I want to work on our last 2 effects. Now, the 2 effects themselves are pretty simple, but the way I explained them in the video was really poorly done, so I'm going to redo it here quick. For the spinning rainbow, we basically just put 2 clouds on the bottom of it, shifted it 45 degrees so it's upright, and then we stole some of the spikes from the bottom and just put them all around. I gave it a rotating group, and then I did the same process for the second one, except on an inverted layer. The background was also pretty easy. I just got a bunch of half opacity background squares, put some glow in them, and gave them all groups. Using Build Helper, I would get a different group for each line, and just have them wave back and forth with alpha triggers. Lastly, just to fill up space a little more, I added all these little rock formations. Now with that whole process out of the way, I'll let you guys get a peek at the ultimate hard demon. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. If you guys have any suggestions for this level, be sure to leave them in the comments. And as for next episode, we're remaking something that's a bit of a classic. Little on the older side, but definitely a well-known level. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and peace.